Well, since the last time we interviewed you, you've won the Nobel Peace Prize, and by the end of this week, you will have visited 20 countries as president, the most of any U.S. president in his first year. What have you accomplished?
Well, a couple of key things. Number one, I think that we've restored America's standing in the world, and that's confirmed by polls. I think a recent one indicated that around the world, before my election, less than half of the people, maybe less than 40% of the people, thought that you could count on America to do the right thing. Now it's up to 75%. That builds goodwill among publics that makes it easier for leaders to cooperate with us. We then have seen very specific areas of cooperation around the nuclear issue. If you just take the example of Iran, we started off saying that right at the time of my inauguration, the world community was still divided on what Iran's intentions were. And we mobilized the international community to present a credible, legitimate offer to the Iranians that would show their intentions to pursue peaceful nuclear energy as opposed to weapons. Iran so far has not been able to say yes to that offer, and as a consequence, you now have validators like the International Atomic Energy Agency. You've got the P5+1, which includes Russia and China, all saying to Iran, you're on the wrong side of history here. And that means that if Iran continues to rebuff the international community, us setting up sanctions or other measures that put pressure on them becomes much easier. But
the Chinese president is not endorsing sanctions yet. And when people look at other issues like Mideast peace, you could argue that the peace process is worse off now than it was a year ago. You promised transformational change. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but on the other hand, do you feel some pressure to get some of these things done?
Well, I think that there is no doubt that in the same way that on domestic policy, our first job was to stabilize the situation and prevent disaster. On the international stage, our first job was to stabilize the situation to allow us to move forward. A lot of our initiatives have not yet borne fruit, but we knew that something like Iran's nuclear program wasn't going to be solved in a year. The question is, are we moving in the right direction? And I think there's no doubt that we are.